Greetings, my dear friends, and welcome to another episode of Reading Epic Threads. I'm your host, Patrick Gunnels, joining you from Houston, Texas, this March 13th, 2025 at 4:38 p.m. Central Daylight Time. I'm doing one piece today, and that is Global Justice Warriors. Oh, wow. All hell's breaking loose, guys. My pause. Well, y'all, my webcam crapped out on me, and my other webcam is elsewhere. So you're just going to have to deal with my voice only. Isn't that weird? We'll make it work, though. It'll be okay. Well, we're going to make this piece one piece. And then I just want to urge everybody, if you want me to be able to purchase a new webcam, then you need to go to TULIPBLOOMS.SHOP. That's right. Go to TULIPBLOOMS.SHOP to get the best skincare products in the world. You can get the amazing aloe vera lotion Rainfall with evening primrose oil, with rosehip oil, hemp seed oil, argan, amaranth, apricot kernel, babassu, and more. You can get the amazing Epic Moisture Creamy Body Butter, which we will no longer be selling over the summer due to the heat. We'll start back up in September. And then, of course, the Castor Blend, which is the best thing you could possibly put on your skin. Go to TULIPBLOOMS.SHOP, use promo code Shapiro for 10% off. Now, here we go. This piece is entitled Global Justice Warriors. From dawnbillie.substack.com. I just want to make sure you guys can hear me. From dawnbillie.substack.com. Global Justice Warriors. All warfare is based on deception. By Dawn Billie. I recently noticed a lot of anti-Pompeo posts on social media, which struck me as odd. And by the way, this is from November 12th, 2024, right after the election. Apparently, some media person started posting that Trump was considering Pompeo for a position in his new administration. This started a rage among people posting that Pompeo was either a war hawk, a part of the deep state, or a member of the military-industrial complex. In addition to the anti-Pompeo social media posts, an April discussion between Joe Rogan and Tucker Carlson resurfaced. Tucker discusses the declassification of President Kennedy's assassination and accuses Pompeo of preventing the release of the files. With no fear of potential legal repercussions, Tucker slanders Pompeo by accusing him of being a sinister person and a criminal. The accusation stems from a Yahoo News article in which journalist Mike Isikoff reported that, according to sources, Pompeo attempted to assassinate WikiLeaks founder Julian Assange. If Mike Pompeo wanted Julian Assange killed, why isn't he dead? Why didn't they kill Assange before he released the CIA secrets in the WikiLeaks Vault 7 files? Why would the CIA discuss an assassination and then tell a journalist about it after they decide against it? Why is the Rogan-Tucker podcast circulating again? What was Tucker's intention in defaming Mike Pompeo? What is the reason for promoting a negative view of Mike Pompeo? Something seems off about all this. More importantly, why am I listening to what Tucker Carlson has to say? When did Tucker Carlson's reporting become credible? I like Tucker, and he seems to be joining in the Great Awakening. But when did Tucker Carlson become a trusted name in news? No one in the media has earned the right to be considered trustworthy, in my opinion. As I often remind myself, we are living through an information war. The more someone wants me to lean in one direction, the more I resist and lean the other way. I'm not trying to be obstinate. It's important for me to consider all sides and to trust my instincts. The more attention a story gets, the less I believe it. In addition to the Rogan interview, #NoPompeo started trending on Twitter. Jack Posobiec posted the following: "Wow, cat turd has no Pompeo trending #2 in the entire country." Below is an example of some of the comments under Jack's tweet, November 8th. "Surely real Donald Trump has to see that no Pompeo is trending and sees that as a sign to keep him far away from his administration. Jack, how do we get Don Jr. to know who to recommend or condemn so Dad can make the right choices?" Why do people think they're smarter than President Trump? The Great Awakening still has a long way to go if people commenting on social media think he should be listening to us. All of the no Pompeo followers can breathe a sigh of relief now that President Trump shut down any chance of Mike Pompeo's potential role in his new administration. Donald J. Trump on Truth Social: "I will not be inviting former Ambassador Nikki Haley or former Secretary of State Mike Pompeo to join the Trump administration, which is currently in formation. I very much enjoyed and appreciated working with them previously and would like to thank them for their service to our country. Make America great again." My guess is that we won't hear any more of Mike Pompeo until the time is right. Like so many others in President Trump's circle, Mike Pompeo worked toward publicly putting space between himself and the president. In 2023, Pompeo criticized Trump for being in possession of classified documents when he shouldn't have had them, and for not returning them when given the opportunity. That's consistent with protecting America's soldiers, sailors, airmen, and Marines, said Pompeo. Being the loyal supporters that we are, many of us immediately turned on Pompeo in the interest of protecting President Trump. Maybe Mike Pompeo is a war hawk, a member of the deep state or the military-industrial complex. Anything is possible. However, when I think of Mike Pompeo, I immediately go back to the first time I heard of him, well before Trump's presidency. It was during the House Select Committee hearing on the Benghazi tragedy, and it left a lasting and favorable impression on me. Watch any YouTube video of his questioning of Hillary Clinton. Not only will you notice her obvious discomfort, but his demeanor makes it clear that he doesn't hold the former Secretary of State in very high regard. In that moment, I felt a strong admiration for Mike Pompeo. That feeling remains. Should we continue to assume that President Trump made a mistake with Pompeo? He appointed him to be the CIA director, then nominated him to be Secretary of State. President Trump isn't just a New York businessman who happened to fall into the presidency. His role in our country has been a well-planned operation. How could he have been wrong about Mike Pompeo? I don't think he was. Mike Pompeo was an intelligent, loyal, and trusted addition to the Trump administration. He graduated first in his class at West Point, served 5 years in the Army, worked as an attorney until 1998, and then became an entrepreneur in the aerospace and oil field industries. Before serving as the CIA director and Secretary of State, he was elected to the House of Representatives in 2011 to represent the state of Kansas. Although he was originally a critic of President Donald Trump, he became one of his most loyal supporters after President Trump's nomination in 2017. According to The New Yorker in 2019, no matter what Trump has said or done, Pompeo has stood by him. As a former White House official said, there will never be any daylight publicly between him and Trump. The affection between the two men is mutual. As the New Yorker journalist says, Trump often gushes about Pompeo. "I argue with everyone," Trump told a reporter, "except Pompeo." While Secretary of State Mike Pompeo hosted about 24 Madison dinners for hundreds of attendees. The dinners weren't on Pompeo's public schedule, and contact information for each attendee was sent to Pompeo's wife's personal email address rather than his State Department email. The invitees included diplomats or foreign officials, members of the media, entertainment industry, or corporate world, and members from U.S. politics or government. The dinners were said to be a world-class opportunity to discuss the mission of the State Department and the complex foreign policy matters facing our exceptional nation. There was no communication between Pompeo's office and the teams at the State Department who handle different regions of the world. For example, if the South Korean ambassador attended a Madison dinner, the bureau responsible for South Korea might not even know about it or have the ability to follow up on what was discussed between Pompeo and the ambassador. Maybe that was the point. Could these dinners have provided a setting for unofficial conversations with foreign officials centered around global concerns? A January 15th, 2021 AP article reported that Pompeo wasn't going to quietly fade away. Not only was he defending President Trump after the January 6th insurrection that wasn't, but he was also issuing orders to State Department employees and tweeting on both his official and personal accounts to promote President Trump's America First agenda. When asked if there would be a smooth transition to the Biden administration, Pompeo responded, "There will be a smooth transition to a second Trump administration. All right? We're ready. The world is watching what's taking place here." Pompeo saying the world is watching is an interesting choice of words. According to ChatGPT, the U.S. Secretary of State serves as the president's top advisor on foreign affairs. He or she represents the U.S. in international organizations like the United Nations, NATO, and the World Trade Organization. The secretary is responsible for leading diplomatic talks with other countries on key areas like national security, defense, trade, and human rights. They also play a vital role in negotiating, drafting, and signing international treaties and agreements. Our world has been filled with corruption. There are two branches to that corruption: domestic, meaning within our borders, and international, meaning outside. The domestic corruption includes members of our government, entertainment industry, media, corporations, and others. These areas need to be restructured, and the criminals responsible for destroying our institutions must be brought to justice. There are people from Trump's first administration who have disappeared from the spotlight, and I believe they are working behind the scenes to bring justice back to our country. These people include Jeff Sessions, John Ratcliffe, Mark Meadows, and others. The second major branch represents international corruption and includes supporters of the New World Order, members of NATO, whoever was behind COVID, and other issues, all of the problems that need attention beyond our borders, internationally or worldwide. These institutions also need to be restructured, and those criminals must also be brought to justice. Who better to represent the United States and work with the International Court of Justice in a global prosecution of international criminals than Mike Pompeo, our former Secretary of State, along with Nikki Haley, our former ambassador to the United Nations? As I mentioned in Global Justice, both of them came out very strongly against the UN Human Rights Council. We were conditioned to hate Nikki Haley due to her clownish, half-hearted campaign for president, along with rumors of her being a war hawk, neocon, etc. Is that true? Or were we once again distracted and misled so that she too could focus on a more important project, that project being the takedown of international criminals? As UN ambassador, Nikki Haley was the primary representative of the United States to the United Nations during President Trump's first term. The UN ambassador plays an important role in advancing American foreign policy worldwide, as well as working with other UN members to draft, sponsor, and negotiate resolutions on international matters. The ambassador engages with other diplomats and foreign ministers to promote U.S. interests and encourage cooperation on global issues like international corruption. As UN ambassador, Nikki Haley reported directly to both President Trump and Mike Pompeo. In an information war, would you be surprised if you were misled into believing that the former Secretary of State and UN ambassador were working against the president? Would you turn against them and become uninterested in them in their roles? Is this part of the distraction? Were we supposed to become disillusioned with Pompeo and Haley so that they could continue to do more important work outside of our attention? I continue to trust President Trump, and I trust that justice is coming. In Global Justice, I theorize that we are not thinking big enough And we will someday see international trials similar to the Nuremberg trials that were held after World War II. Did President Trump announce that Pompeo and Haley are not going to be part of his administration because they have bigger, more important, more historic work to do? Only time will tell. And that is our show. Go to TULIPBLOOMS.SHOP. Use promo code Shapiro for 10% off. And right now, the Aloe and Cucumber Serene Gel Cleanser is buy one, get one, 25% off. Get it today. People are raving about this stuff. Get it at TULIPBLOOMS.SHOP. And I will be buying a new webcam tonight. But in the meantime, let us pray. Saint Michael the Archangel, defend us in battle. Be our protection against the wickedness and snares of the devil. May God rebuke him, we humbly pray. And do thou, O Prince of the heavenly host, by the power of God, cast into hell Satan and all evil spirits who prowl about the world, seeking the ruin of souls. Amen. I love you all. Thank you so much for being here, and I'll see you tomorrow.
I will be the greatest president that God ever created.